You are Locked On Red Sox Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Boston, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, the Red Sox had a big third inning in Monday night's series opening victory against the Mariners. Seattle came back 5-run fifth inning against James Paxton and the Red Sox bullpen Tuesday night en route to the victory, winning 10-6. The fifth inning for the Sox, simple, U-G-L-Y, spelled it the right way, no spell check needed, ugly. We do welcome you into our latest edition of the Locked On Red Sox Postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, your host, veteran play-by-play announcer, calling more than 1,000 games in the minors. Spent one glorious Saturday afternoon in the show, calling Padres-Dodgers from Dodger Stadium on ESPN's national radio broadcast. Lobster Lake, Maine, that's where I was. I was on Lobster Lake, Maine, when the Red Sox acquired Dave Henderson and Spike Owen in August of 1986. Today I was in my car and hitting refresh on the texts and the tweets all afternoon as the trade deadline has come and gone. We are providing reaction to every Red Sox game on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Red Sox podcast feed, which is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast, we're going to be talking about James Paxton and his first start since being picked up from the Dodgers last week. I've said it. Others have said it. Sox errors seem to come in bunches. 3 miscues Tuesday night did not help the pitching staff. Rafael Devers did go deep in the loss, and we're going to also touch on more relief on its way, and we certainly know that it is needed. We do want to hear from you, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the conversation, watching live on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Click the comment button, and you can join us as part of the conversation. How do you get better defensively in season? Is it even possible? Again, you can also hit us up on the X, formerly known as Twitter, at Lennox on Baseball with questions and comments. Our latest episode of the Locked On Red Sox postcast is brought to you by Prize Picks. This episode sponsored by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB. Use the code, all lowercase, LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. So Rafael Devers, home run, right? Rafael Devers, a home run early on. Red Sox up 3-1. Then the Red Sox up with James Paxton on the mound. Red Sox up 3-1, then they had a 3-2 lead, and then they lost the lead in the fifth inning, and Paxton chased from the game. Paxton, in his first start since being acquired from the Dodgers last week, last start for the Dodgers against the Red Sox a week ago this past Sunday at Dodger Stadium, went 4 1/3 innings, 72 pitches. They were not going to let him continue. 6 hits allowed, 1 home run, walked 1, struck out 5, 6 runs total, and it wasn't that ugly because it was ugly for the defense in that inning. Dom Smith spiked one. Hamilton did not get to the bag in time. He was shaded up the middle from his second base position. And the blow in the inning, it was a 4-3 ball game. Zach Kelly came on in relief. Kelly charged with one of the runs in that 5-run fifth inning. And the big double coming with 2 outs in that fifth inning to cap the scoring, coming from Dylan Moore, who had a nice night for the Seattle Mariners. So the Mariners even up the series at a game apiece. Red Sox again scoring runs, but the pitching staff also giving up runs as well. After that 5-run fifth inning, at that point it's a 7-3 ball game, and then the Mariners added on from there. They got 3 runs in the 6th inning for their 10 runs total. Red Sox made things interesting. Got the 3 runs in the 7th inning. You thought, is this going to be one of those nights? No, their bullpen's gotten better. They've made some calculated moves, and I like the bats they've added. Rosarena, Justin Turner as well. And Victor Robles hit 2 hits and 3 runs batted in. And the reason I'm giving a little time here to the Mariners is because you're going to be thinking about the Mariners. You're going to be looking at them in the wild card standings the rest of the way. Trade deadline is now come and gone. Thing of the past. And Robles was designated for assignment by the Washington Nationals a while back, and the Nationals couldn't get him out of town quick enough. But he's done a good job. I don't know if it was an attitude adjustment or not, but Robles has done a halfway decent job with this Mariners club. He can defend when he wants to. He'll have lapses in the outfield, but he can go get it. And right now he's in center field for him. And he's a pretty good pickup as well. Again, you can hit us up in the comments section if you're with us live on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Just click on the comment button. And again, how does this team get better defensively? I'm not sure how it happens, really. 3 errors on the night. 3 errors in the series finale against the Yankees on Sunday. They had 4 errors in that 20-7 lopsided loss last Wednesday at Coors Field against the Rockies. And that's the biggest thing I took away from that game, were the errors. It almost seems when the team gets down, sometimes it's just it looks blasé. I don't want to say lackadaisical. You could probably say they're pretty much the same thing, but just blasé, not completely getting in on a play. Ground ball coming off the chest. And there was a play in that inning where a sharply hit ground ball to shortstop, and Arozarena turned out beat it at first base. Reached down the fielder's joist, picked up an RBI. That was a hard hit ground ball. Now you're going to have to turn it up the middle. Raffaello was going to have to make a quick exchange, get it to second, and a turn by Hamilton to get to first base. Did not happen. And how many times, and again, it sometimes becomes about positioning. Dom Smith turns around, thinks Hamilton's going to be at the bag. He was tardy. Spikes the ball, throws it down the first base side. Hamilton has to give chase. But how many times do we see it? What used to be, we talk sometimes about positioning of infielders. And a ball up the middle, you think it's going into center field. Well, they now know how to cheat it. They can't shift where the second baseman is on the shortstop side of the bag. Same for the shortstop on the second side of the bag. But a ground ball up the middle, it's no longer a base hit the way it used to be. A hard hit ground ball right at an infielder, you're thinking to, but you've got to make sure of one. You've got to make sure you get one out in that situation. And it didn't happen. And we've seen that a lot where the Red Sox do not turn what you think is what we would call a tailor-made double play. A lot of those this year, and that happened in the 5th inning. Dom Smith may have been able to come home and get a force out or get an out at the plate. Didn't do it. Let's hit the comments section. Ethan is joining us. Yeah. Ethan, right on cue. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you checking in. Again, defensively, the errors in bunches. How do you get better defensively? They don't take infield the way they used to. I'm going back decades now. I mean, at least 5 to 10 years, but at least a decade. At least 5 years, maybe, it was back. But they do still take their ground balls and things like that. I had an interesting comment from a minor league instructor that I know in another organization recently saying that his organization, and this guy still grinds and tries to get the most out of his players to get them to the next level, to get them to the big leagues. And I know his routine. It hasn't changed over the years. But now he's got people, part of the minor league front office, minor league staff saying they chronicle everything. They've got, the different devices on the players. Hey, this is my guy. Hey, you got to let up. Tomorrow he needs a day. He needs a day. Remember when Jorge Posada said that for the Yankees? He needed a day. Joe Girardi, I think, said it. But defensively, how do you get better during the season? Yes, they take their ground balls. Do they do infield every single day? No. That's sometimes what amazes me about when a big league infielder, a big league outfielder can make one of those terrific plays, because they don't practice it every single day, but it's ingrained within them. So the Red Sox take the loss, back to 6 over 500, 56-50. 56 games left in the season, folks. 56 games left. And we still, you're going to hear, well, we're almost to the sprint. We're not there yet, but we're hitting the dog days of summer, aren't we? August, it's right around the corner, just a few days away. And it's going to be an interesting month of August for a lot of clubs, not just the Red Sox. 2-3 on the current 6-game homestand, 3-8 through their first 11 out of the All-Star break. Red Sox need a win tomorrow in the finale against the Mariners to win the season series against Seattle. And again, that could be important down the road. I don't know what the tiebreaker system, I'll tell you right now. I'm not looking it up in the next 24 hours, but there will be certain tiebreakers. The Sox, again, need a victory Wednesday in order to avoid losing their 4th straight series out of the All-Star break. And again, I wrote it down. I've said it out loud. I thought the break came at a good time, even though they were 11 games over 500 going into the break. That was a season high. Haven't been to that point since then. Ethan, appreciate you checking in. A tough one. A couple of streaks continue. Red Sox and the extra bases. We'll talk about that. Numbers of the night coming up a bit later on. Patriots training camp underway. A lot of storylines already in Pat's camp. New coach, new quarterback. Mayo not happy. Gerard Mayo. And you know what? You can keep up with the Pats with Mike Debate, Locked On Patriots, part of the Locked On Sports Network, part of Locked On Sports Boston as well. Mike has every Patriots story line covered for you Monday through Friday. Locked On Patriots, part of the Locked On Sports Boston Network. Going to hit a break here. Yeah, we are. And then we come back. A couple more trades absolutely needed. Bullpen help on the way. Wing Enter, by the way, was designated for assignment. He was not with the Red Sox for very long, had a rough go of it, and thought it would be, either get sent down or DFA. He was designated for assignment on Tuesday with a whole bunch of moves coming as well. And we will actually tip our cap. Devers, the home run, number 24, 196, closing in on 200 career home runs. And we'll also have another tip of the cap as well. That's next. Steve Lennox with you, Locked On Red Sox Postcast, part of the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, and also available wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, let's tell you about Supply House, sponsor of the Locked On Red Sox Postcast. Get supplies from the site that is made for skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website packed with helpful resources and the latest product information to help you get the job done and get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 of the top brands that are available. Get your order delivered right to your door, fast shipping, coast to coast. Need help with an order? Simple. Get expert support, industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business, and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades get a competitive edge by joining supplyhouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, discounts on every order. Again, we encourage you to join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM. Order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. Red Sox, tough one. A tough one. 10-6 loss. 5-run inning in the fifth. 3 more in the sixth inning. Mariners pick up the victory. Luis Castillo picked up the win. 9th on the season. Castillo, 9-10 record. 3.43 ERA. Giving up 3 earned runs over 6 innings. Gave up the 1 home run to Devers, a 3-run shot. Paxton the loss. 0-1 with the Red Sox. 8-3 overall now on the season. Kelly, 3rd of an inning. 16 pitches. Yohan Ramirez, Red Sox debut, inning in the 3rd, 3 runs, 2 runs allowed. And this is where I tip my cap. And this was to keep the Red Sox within striking distance after they got a little bit closer and got to within 4 runs. You get to within 4 runs, you get 3 base runners on, 1 swing of the bat, you can have a tie ball game. Red Sox got those 3 runs. Cooper Criswell pitched the 7th inning, scoreless 7th inning. Red Sox got 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Criswell putting up 2 more zeros. 3 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Criswell, we'll talk about the additions to the bullpen here in just a moment, with Craig Breslow making 2 more trades just before the deadline, 1 early in the day on Tuesday, 1 right at the deadline as well with the Angels. But Cooper Criswell, for me, can provide a big shot in the arm. He's not Chase Anderson. He's a lot more than that. Chase Anderson, in a lot of situations, was brought into games like you had on Tuesday night. 10-3 ball game at one point, 3-run 7th inning, within striking distance. You keep him close. Criswell did his job. 3 terrific innings. Remember, this is his 2nd outing in the bullpen. And over the weekend against the Yankees, I was clamoring for it. Where's Criswell? He should be behind Tanner Houck. Houck did his job, 6 innings, finished. Criswell could have entered in the 7th in a clean inning. 3 innings tonight for Criswell. Now, is he shut down for a couple days? Yes, he is. How he responds to 3 innings in the bullpen, when he can come back, something I'm going to pay attention to. It's Tuesday. Is it game 1 of the series? There is the off day on Thursday. So is he readily available? He pitches Friday or Saturday. He could be a real option, a real bullet for Alex Cora and Andrew Bailey out of the Red Sox bullpen going forward. I really do believe that. And you keep him in that situation where if he's going 3 innings, he's extended a little bit. he could also be available for a spot start. Again, desires to be a starter. There have been plenty of those guys over the years. But right now, Criswell, would you rather be in the bullpen at the big league level or a starter at the AAA level? I think 9.5 times out of 10, you're going to keep me in the big leagues. Criswell, I think, is one of those guys. From afar, that's my opinion. That's my opinion on that. Bottom of the lineup wasn't pretty. Connor Wong, tough night, 0 for 4. David Hamilton, and I want Hamilton in the lineup, but a tough 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Hamilton has to hit line drives. Hamilton has to hit the ball on the ground. Hamilton in a game has to utilize his speed at least once, if not 2 or 3 times a game. Striking out 3 times in a game, that's just not going to happen. Let's get into some of these relievers. Let's get into some of these trades. So early in the day on Tuesday, Craig Breslow pulling off a deal with the Cincinnati Reds. Hey, by the way, I want to acknowledge our everydayers for making Locked On Red Sox and the Locked On Red Sox postcast their first listen. And also remind you right here, Gabby Hurlbut and I did a show together, our first. We went live at 6:15 p.m. Eastern, 15 minutes after the deadline Tuesday. You can catch that, Locked On Sports Boston, Locked On Sports. Gabby's also going to have it out there, I think, as part of her podcast as well. So I won't go too detailed into here because we're talking about the Red Sox 10-6 loss to the Mariners. But we went back and forth on a lot of different things with the Red Sox, and I really did enjoy it. And P.S., Gabby's terrific. Lucas Sims picked up by the Reds. Second time in Sims' career where he's been involved in a trade deadline deal. Was sent from the Braves to the Reds back in 2018. Guy who can strike hitters out coming out of the bullpen. But his walk ratio is also a little bit up there. Now, in return, 19-year-old Ovis Portis going back to the Cincinnati Reds, complex league for Portis, and also Salem in the Carolina League. Big 6'4" right-hander. He'll be interesting. He's an intriguing arm. Is he close to the big leagues? No, he's a teenager. He's an A-ball. Watch his progress going forward. Luis Garcia, picked up from the Angels. Deal announced just before the 6 p.m. trade deadline. Matthew Lugo, Nick Cavadas, I think I have that right. Cavadas and 2 other minor leaguers going back to the Angels. Lugo, in terms of the top 30 on the MLB pipeline draft prospects list for the Red Sox, he was, I think, 16 or 17. In terms of the number, if you want to get into that, Lugo was the top. Forgot this. Lugo, I believe, cousin of Carlos Beltran. So Craig Breslow adds James Paxton, Danny Jensen, Quinn Priester, Ramirez, who we saw as well. Right now, a bullpen arm. And I like the 2 relievers that the Red Sox picked up on Tuesday. Sims and Garcia. Now, did you give up quantity or quality? Quantity in the number of 4 minor league players going back. Remember, not all minor leaguers are prospects, but all minor leaguers are trying to get to the big leagues. Jack Flaherty, John Heyman, early in the day Tuesday, saying that the Red Sox had interest in Jack Flaherty of the Tigers. Yankees were also perhaps in the mix, and so were the Dodgers. And in the end, Dodgers end up trading for Jack Flaherty. Seems like the Dodgers and the Padres just have more minor leaguers than everybody else. They have no business, or no problem, I should say. They can do whatever they want, and they do that. So I didn't mean I slip of the tongue there. No, they have no business trading prospects or minor leaguers. Trade whoever you want. They have no problem, no issue whatsoever in trading minor leaguers. What the Padres do, they just go for it. And they had a Tanner Scott. Big-time arm, big-time package going back to the Marlins. The Marlins, they traded a lot of their big league players. There's going to be a lot of opportunity in that organization. But for a starting pitcher, Flaherty goes to the Dodgers. Trevor Rogers goes from Miami to Baltimore. Orioles gave up a couple of guys who are knocking on the door to the big leagues. But were they going to play in front of other guys that they already have at the big league level or guys that are coming soon? And I touched on this with Gabby Hurlbut when we did our show, Locked On Red Sox, earlier today, the trade deadline show that we did together. And again, that was a lot of fun, available on the podcast, also available Locked On Boston YouTube channel. John Paul Morosi reported Roman Anthony was scratched from the Portland lineup. He was actually never in the original lineup today. John Paul Morosi came back and changed that and said, hey, my bad. But that sent a lot of people, and Gabby and I touched on it when we had our show. That touched a lot of people of saying Roman Anthony's going to be involved in a deal. It must be a big deal. It didn't turn out to be. Let's go into our at-bat of the night. I got to get to it. Yeah, it was from the opposing team, Dylan Moore. Dylan Moore coming through against Zach Kelly in that fifth inning, 4-3 ball game at that point, and he touched one up for a 2-out, 3-run double. From a 1-run game to a 7-3 lead, once the Mariners took the lead in that fifth inning, Red Sox never came back at any point. Got to within 4 runs. Say they got to within striking distance, but that's as close as they got. Ethan checks back in with us. Are these relievers going to be a game changer in your eyes, or more so going to supply some rest for other bullpen arms? I'm not as familiar with Sims and Garcia. Thank you, Ethan. Both are going to contribute, and both are going to be guys in front of Kenley Jansen right now. Remember, Slayton, Martin, perhaps Liam Hendricks back sometime soon. Martin could be out on a rehab assignment as early as next week. Slayton, I think, is a little bit more behind. More information right now on Martin than Slayton in terms of guys coming back. But there are a couple of guys right now either going down or you're not going to see them again. Once Sims and Luis Garcia are with the club, I would imagine they'd be with the team on Wednesday. Do they get into the game on Wednesday? Maybe not. Maybe they're even told, hey, meet us in Texas. Not sure how that'll go down. But these are two guys, Sims, Ethan, and Garcia. Sims from the Reds, Garcia from the Angels, right at the trade deadline within 5 minutes of the 6 p.m. Eastern deadline on Tuesday. They should be arms. They should be guys that are going to contribute. I said it with Gabby earlier today when the Red Sox were in Cincinnati in June. Sims to me is a guy that you take notice of. Garcia is a guy, if you need him, he can get you a save, or you can use him in a save opportunity. So those guys are both available. Let's go into hearing the boos. Kind of went backwards here on our rundown. 6th inning, stolen base attempt. Ball gets through David Hamilton. 3rd error of the ball game. Ball goes into center field. Red Sox fans booed. And it's one of the rare times this year I've actually heard the boos. Trying to just find a number here. 36,592 sellout crowd at Fenway Park Tuesday night. That's a great crowd. Sellout crowd on a Tuesday night. But the boos came in the 6th inning. And, yeah, 3rd error of the night. Ball that's got to be knocked down, blocked, whatever. Prevent it from going into center field. Did not happen. Didn't happen in that situation. You're going to have games like that, but they have to start being fewer and farther in between, because you've had 3 games since last Wednesday, 3 errors twice and 4 errors in a game as well. We wrap it up. What's on tap? Numbers of the night. And the clock is now ticking on Tristan Casas. I'm going to explain that in less than a minute and a half. Locked On Red Sox postcast. Glad you're with us on the Locked On Boston YouTube channel. Also, our numbers on the podcast, they are getting better and better. We've hit over 700. So again, I thank you and I tip my cap to our podcast listeners. We've hit over 600 and 700 in the last couple of days. That number continues to trend upward, and I love it. Thank you so much. Locked On Red Sox postcast brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Hey, unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, simple. You against the numbers. You against the numbers. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player snap projections. Watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends. Become part of Prize Picks community today. Now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn your $10 into $1,000. If you're looking for promotions, Prize Picks has got you covered every week. From lowering select player snap projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or by getting your entry feedback if you have a losing lineup on Friday. Simple. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, Prize Picks, code LOCKEDONMLB. Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. Prize Picks, it's that easy. So, numbers of the night coming up in just a few moments. We've got a handful. Also, what's on tap? What's ahead for the Red Sox? Steve Lennox with you, Locked On Red Sox Postcast, part of the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, your team every day. Triston Casas. The clock is now ticking on Triston Casas. And I'm done venturing a guess as to when Triston Casas is going to be back in the Red Sox lineup at the big league level. Hasn't been in there since April, but the clock has started. He began his rehab assignment Tuesday night with AAA Worcester right down the road at Polar Park. By the way, went there earlier this year. Great ballpark. Outstanding ballpark. Casas 1 for 4. Double, walk, 2 strikeouts. Lou Merloni, hey, third segment, first Nesson reference. Lou Merloni with Dave O'Brien in the Nesson booth on Tuesday night said, it's very rare. But then again, you're talking about Triston Casas, so things are a little bit different. Things sometimes can be a little quirky. We know that. But Casas played most of the game. 5 plate appearances, 1 for 4, a walk. Also had a double. Most guys will get an at-bat or 2. He did DH, so he was off his feet. Most guys will get an at-bat or 2, and that's it. They'll shower, they might meet with the media, and then they're gone. They'll actually depart in-game on rehab assignments, right? Casas did talk to the media before the game. I saw one line that he had where he said the clubhouse at Polar Park in Worcester, better than the home digs at Fenway Park. He's probably not the first to observe that. He might be the first to say that out loud. But Casas, again, 20 days for a position player out on a rehab assignment. So day 1 is in the books, Tuesday. So, again, he's got almost 3 full weeks. Could he be back? He could be back in the next 5 days. Casas could be back in the next 10 days. He could go the full 20 on the rehab assignment. We don't know yet. The Red Sox don't know yet. But if Triston Casas says he's ready to go, then boom, the lights go on. Be ready to go. Be ready to go. Now, it's going to take a little time, but be ready to go. Don't want you getting to the big league level where it's a 1 for 27 to start. No. You get those 0 for 3s, 0 for 4s out. That's what this rehab assignment is all about in the minor leagues. Get those at-bats. He's been out for an extended period of time. When he's ready to go and the lights are on at the big league level, Triston Casas has to be full throttle, ready to go. Get in that lineup and produce. Can you take the collar a couple times over your first 10 games? Yes, we can live with that. But if you're going to go 1 for 27, I'm going to question whether or not you should have probably stuck around a little bit longer in the minors to get some at-bats, to see some pitching, to see the spin on the breaking ball, all those different things. Timing, everything that goes into you getting back to the big league level and from the jump, ready to go. Numbers of the night. First inning, Massa, Rafi, Yoshida and Devers both extending hit streaks. Now, they're modest hitting streaks, but they've both hit safely in 7 in a row. Red Sox have now at least collected 1 extra base hit in 42 straight games. Red Sox, Devers, the 3-run home run, number 24 on the season. That put him up 3-1 early on against Luis Castillo. Could not keep the lead. But the Red Sox have now homered at least once in 13 straight games. Now, on the other side, got to keep the ball in the ballpark. Jorge Polanco had a home run against James Paxton. So with that, Red Sox pitchers have now allowed 26 home runs over the last 12 games. That's over 2 a game. Yeah, that's too many. Already hit on the errors. When you score 6 runs or more in 9 of 10 games, you expect to be 7-3. No, the Red Sox have scored 6 or more runs in 9 of 10, and they're 3-7 over that stretch as well. So a tough one for the Red Sox. Again, need a win on Wednesday to win the season series against the Mariners, 4-3, and they need a series win. They need a win tomorrow to win a series for the first time since the All-Star break. Lose tomorrow, lose the rubber game in the 3-game set against the Mariners, and you've lost to the Dodgers, you've lost to the Rockies, you've lost 3 in a row to the Dodgers, you've lost 2 of 3 at Coors Field against the Rockies, you lost 2 of 3 to open up this homestand against the Yankees, and also, if you lose tomorrow, you've dropped 2 of 3 against the Mariners, who you're going to be competing against. Mariners are going to be locked in a division race. They're also going to be locked in and trying to secure a wild card spot as well. So, Sox do conclude their 6-game homestand Wednesday afternoon. First pitch 4:10 against the Mariners. Brian Bayo, opening day starter in Seattle against the Mariners back on March 28th. Red Sox won that game 6-4. He faced Luis Castillo. Wednesday, he'll face George Kirby. Gilbert, Castillo, Kirby. Kirby, when he's on, can be nasty. Bayo in that start against the Mariners back in late March to open up the regular season. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Walked no one, struck out 1. Gave up a home run to Mitch Haniger. He is 3-0 in 3 career starts against the Seattle Mariners. And Bayo, a 10-game winner. Only major league pitcher right now with 10 or more victories and an ERA over 5. Last time out, loss against the Blue Jays. No, that's not right. His last loss came June 25th against the Blue Jays. And Bayo, ERA at home. His ERA overall is over 5. His ERA at Fenway this season so far through 9 outings, over 6. Kirby, 8-7 record. The Mariners should be a lot better than 10-12 and Kirby's 22 starts. He's 8-7 with a 3.03 ERA. He's had 5 scoreless outings this season. Kirby picked up the win against Nick Pivetta in Game 2 of the regular season back in late March in Seattle. 1-0 ball game. Kirby 6 2/3, 2 hits, no runs, couple of walks, 8 strikeouts. Again, day baseball at Fenway, 4:10 first pitch, series finale, Mariners, Red Sox on Wednesday afternoon. Off day Thursday in Arlington, Texas. First of 3 against the Rangers on Friday, then off to Kansas City, and a series against the Royals Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. We close out and remind you once again, Locked On Red Sox Postcast does follow each and every Red Sox game throughout the course of the season. We do thank you for making Locked On Red Sox and the Locked On Red Sox Postcast your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Also on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel as well. One more time, we do go live within minutes of the last out of every Red Sox game with our latest edition of the Locked On Red Sox Postcast. Locked On Sports Boston, the number one place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team, your Boston teams, every day.